Hi guys, today I'll show you how I replaced a Jaguar X-type upstream oxygen sensor Bank 2. The matter is that the previous video about replacing a Bank 1 upstream sensor became quite popular, so I've made up my mind to take videos about replacing all the 4 O2 sensors of Jaguar X-type, both upstream and downstream. So, as you see, I've performed all the preparatory works. Removed the engine cover, removed the battery cover for better access, started removing the air filter box. You see, I have unfastened the air hose clamp, unplugged the connector of the mass airflow sensor. I unscrewed the two 6mm bolts securing the air box retaining bracket. I'll show you my way of removing the air filter box easily. Earlier I've spoiled the threads of 2 of the 7 screws securing the airbox cover. The airbox of Jaguar X-type needs to be removed during the majority of works on the front side of the engine bay. So I stopped breaking it into parts every time I remove it. I just take it out of the engine bay completely. The matter is that I don't secure the airbox with the 2 screws inside it to the lower part with air pipes. This allows me to remove the box completely without breaking it into parts. Surely I don't advise you to do the same, it's just my way of removing the airbox, and that's it. After the airbox was taken out, I went on unplugging the O2 connector. It can be found on the front side of the battery. It is grey in color. Here the downstream oxygen sensor connector is also situated. It shouldn't be mistaken for the grey upstream sensor connector. The downstream sensor connector is black in color. After that, I went on removing the airbox retaining bracket, just for my convenience, to let my left hand reach the O2 sensor and keep the socket tight on the sensor while I was unscrewing it. You see, I unplugged the ignition coils and removed 2 8mm nuts and one 10mm bolt and removed the bracket itself. Here I started unscrewing the upstream sensor itself. For this purpose I need a special socket for O2 sensors, a universal joint, 2 extensions and a ratchet. I threaded the O2 sensor wire into the socket, which allowed me to reach this sensor without any additional assistance. I untightened the sensor very carefully so that not to damage it, because I already had a bad experience of damaging the sensor while removing it due to my negligence. It is very important that during unscrewing the sensor I unwound the sensor wire from time to time so that to prevent it from making loops. In fact, I have already replaced the upstream O2 sensor. If you would like to see the video about replacing downstream sensors, you can write about it in the comments. Here you see the OEM number of Jaguar X-type upstream sensor. I'll give it to you in description to this video. So you see, I take another sensor, a pre-used OEM one, put it into the socket and fit it to its place. I started tightening it, turning the ratchet clockwise and unwinding the cable as well to prevent it from making loops and being damaged. I tightened the sensor. Here I show you how it looks, and after that I plugged in the gray connector. You see, I attached the connector to its bracket. It's of no much interest to see the details of installing the bracket, retaining the airbox, as well as plugging in the ignition coils, but if you watch this video to the end, I'll show you and explain to you how I install the airbox so that to make it easy removable. The matter is that there are two guides on both sides of the airbox, and I make sure that both guides of the airbox enter the relevant guides of the lower part. I make these guides fit each other, enter each other, and after that I secure the airbox with the upper bracket to the engine head. I repeat once again that it's my way of installing the airbox. I don't urge anybody to do the same. After the airbox is installed, I fasten the clamp of the air hose, squeezing it with pliers, plug in the mass airflow sensor and return both the engine and battery covers to their places. I started the engine, it is running okay, you see. The only thing you need to do now is to raise the 1647 code and enjoy driving your Jag. If you find this video useful, just don't forget to click like and consider subscribing to the channel.